Let's talk inflation because a lot of people say that the only reason they're voting for Donald Trump is because under Biden Harris, there was so much inflation. Under Donald Trump, we had higher wages and lower inflation. So, what would the future bring us? Now, Donald Trump hasn't put out a lot of policies. This video is not going to talk about the reasons for not putting out those policies, whether it's because he doesn't want you to not have to buy the cow in order to get the milk, or if it's because he doesn't actually have any ideas. But he has put out enough economic policies and policies that would affect the economy that economists have been able to say what they think would happen should Donald Trump be elected, and the policies we do know about get enacted. Three policies that Donald Trump has talked about: 10% tariff on imports, deporting undocumented workers, and cutting corporate taxes, economists say would cause inflation to skyrocket in this country. Now, tariffs work by definition by raising the cost of imported goods to Americans, which can work out well for the American economy, assuming that we have domestic producers that can pick up the slack. That being said, Donald Trump wanting to put a 10% tariff across everything means that prices for Americans are going to go up. Now, he says he's doing this to counteract China and its lower wages. However, over 60% of goods that we import come from places other than China, like the United Kingdom, the EU, Canada, and Mexico. So it's really not going to have as much of an impact on Chinese goods as it is on goods coming from everywhere else, causing prices for Americans to skyrocket. Mass deportation is something that's been popular on the right for years now. The problem is that economically, it's not as clean as they like to think it would be. You see, on the food front, most of our fresh produce is picked by immigrants, which means that if they go, somebody else has to do that picking, and they're going to want to get paid more than the people that are doing it now, which is going to drive up the cost of food. On the construction side and the home price side, almost 20% of our construction industry is made up of undocumented immigrants, which means that if you get rid of them, you're going to further reduce the supply of housing, which is going to further drive up the cost of housing because demand ain't going anywhere, folks. Now, I know Trump and Vance have argued that immigrants are coming over here buying up all the housing, but unfortunately for them, I don't think it's very common for an immigrant to come over here with a 750 credit score and $50,000 down payment to slap down on a house. Then finally, we have the good old Republican tax cut that will solve every problem we have except when it doesn't. Donald Trump wants to take the corporate tax rate from 21% down to 15%, which would require the federal government at current spending levels to borrow an additional $520 billion because that's how much revenue we would lose by cutting corporate taxes yet again. All these policies combined, economists say, would raise prices and cost the average American family up to $5,000 more per year, which completely negates the entire reason for voting for Trump, which is that the economy was better and prices were lower.